W2FJH, bringing up the STNY digital voicenet on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, wires Xroom 83721, and live stream to Google Meet and YouTube. The primary purpose of the STNY digital voicenet is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York, and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. For more information about this net, please visit stnydmr.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in-and-out, or emergency power stations. We currently do have 3 stations checked in for NetLogger, so the net would like to recognize K3 BYC Carlton, W2 KDC Dennis, and N2 VSS Jeff. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short-time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now.
And 2RWH, checking in and out.
All right, and we have N2RWH Ed checking in and out. Was there any other stations for in and out emergency power? Please call now. All right, nothing heard, so let's open up for any station that would like to check into the STNY digital voicenet this evening. Please call now.
KB2SIN 30JP, Mick, Pennsylvania.
All right, and I got KB2SIN Bill and N3OJP Mick. Were there any other stations that joined this evening? Please call now.
KE2DPB, Jason from the Honey Lake region.
All right, and we also have KE2DPB Jason. All right, let's kick things off. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so no announcements. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. All right, nothing heard for announcements questions either. All right, so we will move in for comments. The net topic this evening, and I do apologize for kind of posting it a little late there. It was like 15 minutes before the net started. But the net topic this evening was updating contacts in your radio. Do you regularly update the radio ID database in your radio? And if so, how often? So, top of my list here is K3 BYC Carlton. How was your week?
This is K3BYC, Carlton from Darlington, Maryland. Thank you, Frank, for taking the net. Good evening to everyone who's checked in. Well, my week was, we had 2 kind of moderate snowstorms come through, and got to use the snowblower twice, since I have a large 100-foot driveway plus walkways and parking areas. It takes 2 or 3 hours to clear each time, so spent Monday doing that, and then yesterday doing that. So lots of fun, but it gives me the exercise. As far as updating contacts and everything, I probably don't get to my radios as often. I've got 2, my Alunce and my Anytone, and I know I'm overdue there. So it's kind of infrequent, maybe once in a blue moon, or we'll say maybe every couple of months, something like that, to get the contact list. I use the computer screen in front of me so much that I almost really don't need to see it on the faceplate there. But anyway, I do get to it there. Anyway, again, good evening to everyone, and I hope everyone has a great week there. This is K3PYC. Back to net control.
Hey, very good there, Carlton. And yeah, I know I feel the pain about getting out there, especially twice in the same week to throw snow there. It's always I always tell the wife, like, I'm going to get, she's always wishing for snow, so I tell her, like, I'm going to get you out here shoveling snow and everything. Maybe you won't be wishing for it anymore. But And yep, I kind of do the same thing. I rely on my Pi-Star. I know it updates regularly. I think it's every 24 hours. It updates the database on the Pi-Star, and I kind of rely more on that, especially when I'm net control. I have all my screens and everything pulled up, and but yeah, just got around to updating my radios. Actually this weekend here, and it's been about 2 years. So just for my my comments there. So, all right, next on my list is W2KDC Dennis. How was your week?
Hi, Frank, and everyone on the net. I had a pretty good week. Nothing exceptional to report. Had a little bit of snow, and my plowing service came up and plowed once, so that's good. But not enough snow to make a big deal about anyway. I was driven if he hadn't come up and plowed. As far as the net topic go, probably every month or two. It's not anything I worry about a lot. I found a feature, at least on the Anytones, for an alias, and I can tell my radios to receive the alias, and if they don't get the contact information from the list, and there's an alias set, it brings up the name that the person has put in there along with the call sign. So I find that kind of handy, and it makes me less dependent on updating the contact list, which takes longer and longer as there get to be more and more contacts. That's about it for tonight. W2KDC, back to you, Frank.
Hey, very good there, Dennis. And Dennis gave a little foreshadowing, because I was I was thinking about talking about Talker alias next week, and especially I was going to make the topic. I guess if you'll be joining next week, you'll know that topic. But I was thinking of making it a if you transmit Talker alias, because some radios, they have the option of transmitting Talker alias or not transmitting Talker alias. And I actually had a radio that I left all the contacts out of it just to make sure that I was transmitting properly. So, well, I guess a little sneak peek into next week's net there. So, all right, next on my list is N2PSS. Jeff, how was your week?
KW2FJH and everyone on the net, and to BSS. Once again, we'll say very good evening to everyone on here on the net. Excuse me a second. I'm fumbling with the radio a little bit as I'm switching from my left hand to my right. Really should get a hand mic for this thing. But anyway, let's see. We'll pick up a little bit with, I remember last week's net topic, I believe, was, did Santa Claus bring you anything ham radio related? And at the time I said, well, indirectly, Santa Claus brought me gift cards. And this week I turned gift cards into a ham radio related Christmas present. So there you go. Picked myself up an Nano VNA and a couple of YouTube videos, figured out how to at least get the thing calibrated, and started doing SWR measurements on all my antennas. So I was mildly surprised that my 6-meter beam actually checks out in spec. So there's something else going on with it. That tells me it's not, at least it's presenting decent SWR across the band, and it is presenting as if there is a 52 or 50 ohm load there. But the beam pattern is all messed up, which just makes me think it's too close to the roof, and that's what's messing things up. Let me grab a nickel here. Nickel grabbed, and everything should be hooked back up here. We're still playing around with it, so this spring, once I start doing some antenna projects around here, looking forward to using it more, and maybe testing some of the spools of coax that I have laying around. I actually started cleaning out my ham shack today, and I started going through all old files and and bills and packages and whatnot. And I cleaned out all the way back to 1998, which tells you the last time I cleaned the ham shack. So that's out of the way. I think I will reclaim the workbench this week, and then I'm going to get to work building the balance that I'm going to need for the antennas that I hope to put up this fall. So there you go. That topic. Well, I don't ever update my radio anymore. I don't update the code plug. I don't update the contact list because it's a Windows-only program, and I don't own a Windows computer. I have to go scrounging one from somebody so I can do all the updates. When I first bought this radio, I had a Windows computer, but then it broke, and I went Mac, and I've never gone back. Yeah, that's a limitation, especially in the ham world too, because some of the good software is only available on Windows. So there you go. Unless Anytone comes up with a way to update from using either a Mac or a Linux machine, I'm kind of stuck. Back to you, Frank W2FJH and TBSS.
Hey, very good there, Jeff. And yeah, I think I would have to actually check. I think either I tried out one of those nano VNAs, or it was some sort of like spectrum analyzer type thing, and yeah, it may, either I returned it or it might be in my pile of ham radio gear. But yeah, it was as you mentioned, it takes some YouTube watching or something to figure out how to use that. So, and yep, there was something else I was going to mention there. You were talking about the Windows PC there, and just an FYI, I've actually noticed that the prices of PCs, if you go on to Amazon and you look for some of the smaller or micro or like mini computers, they've come down drastically in price, and a lot of them you can get a pretty good hardware for like $100. It's refurbished, renewed, but very cheap. You get the quad core, like 3.2 gigahertz processor, and 8 gigs of RAM, and enough for programming radios. So just an option there in case you haven't checked that out before. So. All right, next on my list was N2RWH, Ed, but he had checked in and out, which if I didn't before, thanks for stopping by there, Ed. And next on the list is KV2SIN Bill. How was your week?
Good evening, Frank, and everybody else out in that. It's been a long time since I've checked into this net. I retired a year ago, and I'm busier now than when I actually worked. Working for the county now, programming radios for the emergency services. I just got my official notification from the Coast Guard that my ham radio station is now considered a facility, an Oxman facility with a government call sign. Got that yesterday. And I was going to check into this with my Anytone. For some weird reason, whenever I key up the Anytone on this, it's going strictly to worldwide, and I don't know why, because I haven't used it since last year. So I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on DroidStar right now. It's funny that you mentioned this topic, so now I've got to go in there and see what's going on with this HT and see if I got to reprogram it or what's going on with it. But even when I try to enter this talk group in there, it still resorts back to 93 worldwide. So I don't know. It's really odd, 93 or 94. But that's where I stand. So I'll turn this back to you, Frank. KV2SIN, back to the net.
Hey, thanks there, Bill. And just by the way, two quick things. One, there is a code plug out on 7.3 for the Anytone 878. I don't think I have the UV2 plus, but I think I just have the UV plus out there. In case you had to reload, maybe you have a backup of your own one, but in case you don't have a backup, at least it's a starting point. It has all of the local analog repeaters in different counties, and it might take a little tweaking just to get to your hotspot. But second point was, just so you know, you might have already tried this, you might already know, but the Anytone kind of has a secret little option there that if you hold down the 0 button, you can punch in whatever talk group you want to talk to, and you can actually like direct dial to there. And I think if you press the pound key, it will change from talk group to private call or vice versa. And then when you punch in the number you want, the talk group you want to talk to, you just actually key up, and it will start talking off of that talk group. But you might already know that. You might have already tried that route, but just an FYI for anybody else. So, all right, next on my list is N3OJP. Mick, how was your week?
Good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. Oh, Frank, just spinning too many amateur radio plates. That's all I can say. God, there's a million things on the agenda here. But as far as any upgrades of the contacts, I really don't have a lot that I use, and everything seems to work pretty good. So I guess I'm just leaving it alone. And I saw Mal's post about those of you, if anybody does any FL Digi tonight. In fact, I saw it on the. It looks like it was on the website, Frank. And let's see if I can grab it here. It's got to do with, well, this came out as an email, but it was on the 7.3net. Mal had posted there's an FSQ experiment. FSQ is part of one of the modes in FL Digi. And it's not used that often. It's a little bit unique, so it'll be kind of interesting to watch it. It's on 80 meters, 3582.5 if you play around with FL Digi. Anyway, a busy week, my daughter, oldest one, and my wife had a couple of appointments I took them to, and well, a little bit of snow every day. So I like to keep the drive and the steps clean, keep the ice off of it, because my daughters are in and out quite a bit, and I don't like snow being tracked in, and well, I don't like the ice either. I had a club meeting on Thursday, and I've been watching those California fires. Oh my God, what a mess. Got to really feel for them people. I got a cousin that lives out there in the Palisades, and he had to evacuate the other day. I assume he's doing okay. But my snowblower is still down here in the basement. I didn't bring it up yet the last year or so because we haven't had any snow. So I says, well, I'm going to clean the carburetor. So that was my project for a couple hours yesterday afternoon. So a little easier down here than out in the garage, that's for sure. But other than that, that's about it. And antennas, I'll tell you what, with all this snow on the ground, it really affects the tuning. Let me catch a quick break here, Frank. Yeah, I got a couple dipoles out there. Well, one's an end fed and one's an off-center fed. And the off-center fed just it's been struggling on 75 meters tuning up. It does. I mean, the SWR is like 1.5. It's been better. A tree fell on the limb during the summer. I don't know if it stretched the wire or something, but tonight it tuned up perfect. So well, we got a little more snow on the ground. And this morning the end fed, which is usually dynamic on 40 meters, didn't like it. So probably a little ice on the wire too. All that stuff has an impact. So yeah, it's interesting how it tells you how the earth ground comes into play with these antennas when you're fooling around with them. So I experiment back and forth with all the different antennas on the different bands, just probably out of curiosity. But that's all that's going on, Frank. I got more. I just don't have the time to go over it all. So hope everybody has a good week here. W2FJH N3OJP.
Hey, very good there, Mick. And yeah, sounds like you're keeping busy as always. And yeah, the snow blow in the basement definitely. I know my garage isn't heated at all, so definitely would make a whole lot of difference if it was nice and warm where you were working. So, all right, next on my list is KE2 at DPB. Jason, how was your week? All right, just a second there. I did. I saw KE2 DPB talking off of my hotspot here, and I was wondering what in the world was going on because I wasn't hearing it on my radio. I noticed that he is talking right now on 31361, which is the upstate New York one. So I will try to try to call out for Jason here in just one more second. Let me drop this and I'll call out again and let him know he was talking on the wrong talk group there. KE2 DPB. Jason, W2FJ8 with the STNY Digital Voice Net. I happen to see that you were talking, but you were talking on the talk group 31361. That was for Upstate. So I'll give it another go there. Probably just a different key up there. So. All right, nothing heard there, so we will circle back to Jason here in just a minute, and I'll let him know. But while we're waiting there, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. I've reached the end of my list, so let's see if there's any additional stations out there that would like to join this evening. Please call now.
N2 NRA, Cliff and Waverly.
All right, and we have N2 NRA Cliff. So I'll give Jason one more moment here. He sorted out the talk group situation there, but we will go to you, Cliff. N2 NRA Cliff, how was your week there?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. We only had 1.5 inches of snow, and it was nice to see the warm up. It might be a little bit warm again tomorrow and then cool down. And so I've been listening to the mighty KC on 5.950 AM, MSK 64 tonight. Download a picture. It's a quick one on AM. And like Mick said, with the end-fed antenna and the snow, I think it affects the performance, that's for sure. And learning some more FL Digi with Mel's help. This is N2NRA, back to net control.
Hey, very good there, Cliff. And yeah, it was nice. It's it's sad around this time of year. You're like, oh man, we're having a heat wave. It's going to be like 32 degrees outside. But yeah. So, all right. Let's circle back and let's see if KE2 DPB Jason was around there. And sorry, Jason, I think you might have transmitted on the wrong talk group. All right, still nothing heard from my end there. I was going to say I could probably grab his call sign and try to give him a private call to let him know. I think he's still in the Upstate talk group. Might have thought we were talking on Upstate. All right, again, I have reached the end of my list. So this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let's see if there's any additional stations to join this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open it up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. All right, then, with nothing heard, we might as well wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Carlton, Dennis, Jeff, Ed, Bill, Nick, Jason, and Cliff for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FJH, and I'll be listening.